with me two of my peers, Miss Margot and Miss Rose, and we're going to be interviewing the very famous Darryl Coleman, Master D. All right. So Darryl, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then from that we have a few questions for you.
Okay, well, I graduated from Dunbar in '78. I became a nightclub DJ in '80.
Okay.
I'm self-taught, never went to school for broadcasting.
Okay.
Had a 50-year career,
50.
and 19 years broadcasting worldwide on Turn Radio.
On Turn Radio. All right. So how long has Turn Radio been in existence?
Since 2007.
Okay.
I started August 2007.
And you started that at Dunbar, or?
Yeah, no, I actually started that in my living room.
Okay.
Because it's nowadays you can have radio stations and everybody can broadcast from wherever they're at.
That's right.
You know, it doesn't matter where the location, you can do it all location.
So you started with internet radio?
Yes.
That's, okay.
Yes, actually I started with a station called Worldwide Radio. I ran into a guy named Darryl Kelly, they call him Jam Master K. He was a bus driver. We happened to be talking about DJing, and as I got on this bus, he was listening to some music. I'm like, man, what you listen to? He's like, I'm a DJ for a radio station. I'm like, well, I'm a DJ. So when I introduced myself, he's like, I think I heard you. You ought to come do a show on my station sometime.
Okay.
And one thing led to another.
And there you go. All right, so you teach the craft, or?
I have taught, I would say 13 DJs that's on different stations worldwide now. I'm proud of that. And they're doing well. They're doing well, seeing that I was self-taught, and when I brought them into it and taught them, I think I did a pretty good job.
Okay. Who brought you in?
I taught myself.
Okay.
I started it when I was 14 years old. In my back room, I lived on 98th and right off Vincennes. We had a house out there, and I had a back room, and I started with, like, you know, those close and play record players like that?
Yeah.
Back in the day, I had two record players that was like that, similar, but they only played, you know how they had them big grinds and you put the 45s on it and drop them one at a time?
Yes.
I had two of them. So I was like, I'm gonna play this and I'm gonna play this, but some type of way, how can I make these play together? That was before I learned about mixers and stuff like that.
And you were 14 when you started doing that?
I started doing house parties as a social club DJ at 15.
Okay. Did you have a mentor?
Not coming initially. I had a mentor later, which was Herb Kent.
Okay.
But that, I actually met Herb Kent when I just got out of the military. So I'd say I was 19.
19. So you were in the military from what age to what?
17 to 19.
17 to 19, okay. So you had an honorable discharge.
Yes.
And when you were in the military, what was your assignment? Yeah.
I was an 82 Charlie, which is a field artillery surveyor.
I have no clue what that is.
I would look like you take a tripod.
Okay.
And you know how they have the heavy artillery?
Yes.
Without me, they can't drop it.
Okay.
So I would take a tripod and take measurements off the stars and the moon and stuff like that and tell them way over there, drop the missiles and stuff way over there.
Oh my
so
goodness.
I was told with my MLS, I would be one of the first people they would look for at one time, because without me, they can't drop the heavy artillery.
Oh.
That was kind of scary, because I'm like, if a war was to break out, what would be my life expectancy? They say roughly about 8 minutes. Because you're the first person they're going to look for. Even though you ain't on the front line, they want.
Let me ask you, what branch? I didn't hear it. What branch? Down.
So you are a former house DJ.
I started my career, I would say, house was just starting to begin. I was one of the originators here in Chicago with house music. Yes.
Okay. Worked at the Copper Box.
I did so many clubs here. I started at the Copper Box. Well, I would say I started at a little club called Laurel's on 117th in Michigan. There was a little hole in the wall. But when I got there, she had no people following her, no people coming in. I turned the place out so much that the nightclub DJs, nightclub owners around the city started hearing about me. The next place I went to was the Copper Box 1.
Okay.
So I was at the Copper Box 1 with George, I think his last name is Harris, and Derek Norfleet. I think that's the baddest DJ that ever come out of Chicago. They say me and him might be like 1 and 2. You can interchange them however, but in my view, he's the baddest thing came out of Chicago.
So how did you meet Herb Kent?
I was at Ronnie's AM Factory when I came out the military. I was the DJ. You know how Ronnie's AM Factory had a nightclub upstairs over the restaurant?
Okay.
And they used to have afternoon parties.
Okay.
I was the afternoon DJ.
Oh.
So Herb Kent would come in and do a Herb Kent thing. They hired him as a host. And Herb came in and he used to sit there and listen to me play. And it got to the point where he would tell management, whenever I'm here, he's gonna be my DJ.
Okay.
So it went from there to I worked with Herb Kent at Chick Rick's, at the Illusion, at the Hummingbird, several places. Everywhere I would be, wherever he would do something, a performance set, I wanted to play my music with him.
So if you had something that you wanted to say to youth who might have an interest in a career like you have, a DJ, what would you recommend for them to do? What would be your directions for them to?
If you're young now and you want to start a DJ, the first thing is you really got to love music. You got to, okay? Because you won't be able to keep your interest long enough to follow it through as a career if you're not really into music. I would just say, like I say when I train myself, it came from repetition, just practicing over and over and over and over till I came up with a sound that I guess would be considered mine.
Your sound,
Yeah,
your signature.
yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense. You have a family?
Yes, I have a son, sisters, my mother and father are gone now. And we have a real close-knit family for the most part. You know, every family has their differences, but for the most part, we're really close.
Anybody else in the family a DJ, internet radio host?
Well, actually, I had a cousin that I kind of started with him too. He doesn't DJ anymore. His name is Wayne. We call him Duke.
Okay.
Dwayne Johnson. He started. Okay, let me put it like this. When I said Laura was my first club, actually it wasn't. I did a club on I think it was like 75th Street, a place called Roberts, a little place over here between Stewart and the Dan Ryan. And he had this stereo equipment. I had never seen stereo equipment like this before. He's like, cuz, we gonna go down here and we gonna DJ, cuz I got this equipment now, and we gonna be some DJs. So we went down there and we played the club, and from there I really started feeling, I like this, but I didn't have any equipment at the time. Like I said, I'm still with them closing plays at home. You know what I'm saying? But he had a real system. I hadn't seen nothing like that, but I'm like, that's the way to go. So as it moved on, my cousin, how can I say this? He has a different type of ear for music. He likes rock, heavy metal, something like that. And I'm like, I ain't feeling none of that. and in the clubs, that's not what they want you playing. That's not what really they feel it, because they come out the party not to no rock and heavy metal. But so I progressed, and he gave it up.
So do you play any instruments? Because you said you had to.
Actually,
you really like music.
It's interesting you asked me that. I used to, my stepfather, Jesse Jackson, not the Jesse Jackson.
Oh, okay.
When he got out the military, he was a musician. My mother and them used to perform in nightclubs.
Oh, really? What did she do?
Sing. They were singers. He played guitar, keyboard, stuff like that. He had a band he put together. He got my mother and my aunt and them together, and they used to perform in different clubs, Chapel Rail, stuff like that. And I used to listen. I used to be at their rehearsals all the time.
Okay.
Listening, because people say I can sing too. So
what do you say?
I'm saying they say I can sing.
What
I have
do
not
you say?
performed.
Can you sing?
I think so, because I've talked to my partner from the Manhattans, and they had told me before I can audition as one of the backup singers.
Okay.
I never pursued it.
Luther started as a backup singer.
Yeah, I mean, I never pursued it because I have so much other stuff going on. I'm a concert promoter. It's so much other stuff going on. You know what I'm saying?
Your first concert
That I actually was part of?
Yeah, that you promoted.
I was with we was at a place called the Crow's Nest in Atlanta, Georgia, and that's when I met my partner from the Manhattans, Charles Hardy. And from that point on, we started really bonding, and then like, we like the station, we like what you're doing with it, and we think that we'd like for you to promote us. And one day,
what did that promoting process? What did you do to promote them?
I do the venues, the contracts, the arrangements, the dates.
Okay.
My partner from the Manhattans, Charles Hardy, provides the entertainers.
Okay.
We have like over 50 groups, Temptations, Manhattans, Intruders, Ray Goodman and Brown that we promoted. It's so many.
What about the Delphonics?
They're one of them.
Okay.
They're one of them. We got them too.
Okay. All right. So you help promote fundraisers for different organizations to help them acquire the money that they need to operate?
Well, what we're doing is we have a tour we put together. It's called the Old School Throwback Tour.
Old school throwback tour.
Right, because it's all old school artists. So what me and Mr. Hardy had decided, and we talked to a lot of the other artists we represent, is times are hard out here now. And because of so many things going on with our economy and in our neighborhoods, we decided that because all these people have been supporting all these artists for so many years, it was time for us to give back to the communities. So what we're trying to do right now as we speak is book our concert tour in as many cities as possible, work with the cities to donate 50 to 70% of the proceeds from the gate to community organizations, churches, schools, whatever, however we see we can.
Lady, did y'all hear that bell? It rang. I heard that
I mean, if you got a non-for-profit that
So
we
how
can
do
help
you
raise funds with,
identify the organizations they fill out applications to?
you talk to me.
Okay, well,
I'm the
we'll talk
promoter.
to you.
I'm the promoter.
Okay.
So you talk to me about we want to do a fundraiser. We like to have a couple of groups, and I'll tell you who I can get available for you. And basically, you can ask for who you want first, and I can tell you that'll be well, first I can see if I can get who you want.
Okay.
If I can't get who you want, I'll tell you what, this is who I can bring in for right now, because it's always based on availability, because they're always on tour.
Exactly. Makes sense. So tell us a little bit about your personal life in terms of as you were growing up. You have brothers and sisters. What was that like?
Real talk, I had a real rough upbringing, not family-wise, because I had a great family structure, but I was bad. I mean, there's no other way to put it.
Were you gang affiliated?
No, I've been gang jumped because I wouldn't join, but about 13 guys beat me down real good because I would not join. But I was like, I'm more afraid of my stepfather and my father than you, so I just have to take this beating because I know when I go in there, I'm going to get it again. So, and I got to live with that.
Yes.
So I was defiant to the gangs. They didn't appreciate it, and I had issues with them, and they made sure I understood we had some issues.
Okay.
I grew up on 56th Emerald in Inglewood.
Okay.
I got one gang on one block, and as soon as you cross the street, there's another gang. It was rough over there.
Ever had any issues with drug abuse, alcoholism, any of that?
Yes, all of the above. I mean, I've never really been an alcoholic. I really never drank. I drank to be sociable because I worked in all the nightclubs. And most of the clubs I worked in, I was also the manager.
Okay.
So I spent a lot of time in the club. But I had drug addiction problems from the time I would say my mid-20s to my early 30s.
Okay.
I'm in the limelight. I'm meeting all the hustlers, everybody school, in the streets, even with bad influences. Everybody knew me because of the clubs. All the nightclub owners knew me because they all wanted me at their clubs. So everybody that was some type of hustler or bad influence knew who I was, and they kind of gravitated towards me.
How did you get away from that? How did you,
It was a twofold thing. As I mentioned before, Herb Kim was one of my mentors. Well, I would say really my mentor in my early part of my career. And I had gotten in a really, really bad way. I had lost my grandmother, and it really, really, I kind of spiraled from there. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like she was my everything. I got to the point where I had a really bad drug habit. And I ran into Herb Camp. After I say about 4 or 5 years into it, he hadn't seen me for a while. And he was like, Master D, you've been off the grid. What's going on with you? And I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't have it like that no more. I'm not feeling it. And he said something to me that kind of started to change. Because he pointed out to me that out of all the DJs I've met, I've not met many that have your musical knowledge, your voice, your personality. You know, this is your calling, and you're throwing a God-given gift away. This is what you're supposed to be here for. This is how he approached me with it. And I thought about that after he said it. The other thing that changed my career or my life as far as my drug addiction, I had an episode with my son. His name is John. He was an infant. And I had just pretty much lost it. I was just gone, basically. So one day he was visiting, and I have a crack pipe in one hand, and I got my son in the other arm. And I'm saying to myself, I'm looking back and forth like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You had to recognize it.
Yeah, this is crazy. This can't go on. I'm like, there's no way I could be a good father to him at this pace, doing this here. And I tell my son to this very day, because of trying to give you a better life and being a better father to you, you probably saved my life.
That's probably
Because I wouldn't stop if it wasn't for you trying to make sure that I could give you a better opportunity in life.
That's a great statement. It's a great moment.
It's a powerful thing to have. We said earlier about the relationship that you had with your grandmother, where they may have been the first love, or the first genuine of somebody that you really adore your parents.
I love my mother and father, don't get me wrong. They were great people. And when I talk about it, I get kind of emotional when I talk about my grandmother. But she was my rock. I could talk to her about anything. I could lean on her for anything. And she never judged me. You know, I mean, no matter good or bad or whatever, she was like, it don't matter, baby.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You are you, and you're going to be okay. You know, y'all excuse me, because like I said, that makes me emotional talking about it.
That's all right.
And it's
We all
a
have
beautiful,
grandmothers.
it's a beautiful experience coming from a man that, in our world,
Okay.
as I was coming up, I'm 70, and all I ever heard was a man that's not supposed to cry.
Well, that ain't true.
That's a problem.
So
That ain't true.
the difference is this: to see that
Yeah.
the pouring of it means love. You talk.
I mean, it's
about
real.
that. Yeah.
You know, I'm talking about what's real to me, and this is how it affects me.
Amen.
You know, I love my grandmother immensely. Like I said, when I lost her, that made me spiral because it's like I had lost everything.
Yes.
You know, the one person I could go to for anything that never judged me, would always have my back and always be behind me, no matter what I did, good or bad, was gone. You know, that was hard.
That's right. That's right. Well, we appreciate you sharing that with us. Is
Okay.
there anything that you would like for our audience to know in regard to your recovery, your capacity to do what you've done? I mean, you've
Well,
come out of that, and now you're
I just
doing-
have to say that for most people, especially these young children, these kids that's coming up with the peer pressure they get, they just have to understand there's something better out there for you. You know, no matter how much they try to pressure you into being one thing, you can always be something better. And I learned that, and I share that when I do mentorship, talking with kids. I let them know how all the stuff you're going through, I've been through.
Yeah.
All the stuff with these people trying to pressure you to be the
Yeah.
this type, and I've been through all of that. I've been beat down by gangs because I wouldn't join them. But at the end of the day, your life is what you make of it.
That's right. That's the message we got to give our young
Yeah.
people. That they have the choice to make their lives whatever they want it to be.
You know, they can't make you be what you want to allow them to make you be.
That's right. That's right.
You give into it, and that's when you start having problems.
That's right.
You know,
So true.
your job as a young child or infant or someone coming up that want to have an idea of a better life for yourself, or maybe later on a different type of career. And the funny thing about it, as we talk about her kid, I've got to tell you this part. When I was 4 years old, I told my mother that I'd never get married. I'd never been married. I'm a lifetime bachelor.
Really?
But the other thing they teased me about is, remember when Herb Kid used to do the Wahoo Man and all
Yes.
that? I used to listen to the radio all the time. I couldn't wait till Herb Kid came on. Oh yes, the Wahoo Man, that's my stuff, blah, blah, blah. And I used to tell my mother and them, that's what I want to do when I grow up. I want to be just like Herb Kid. Now, most people at 4 and 5 years old don't get to, like people say, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a policeman. They don't get to live out what they say they want to be as a child.
That's right.
Or let alone get to meet the person they actually idolized and work with them. It was phenomenal for me, that experience. But I've always said as a child, I'm going to be a radio DJ, I'm blah, blah, blah. And like you asked me about instruments and stuff, I actually used to play guitar, I used to teach guitar.
No.
My stepfather taught me. When I went to Dunbar, they had a band, but they didn't have any guitar players, so they didn't have, the band leader didn't know how to teach that particular instrument. When I used to come to Dunbar all the time with my guitar strapped around my back. You know what I'm saying? Because I was loving playing guitar, and I got into little bands in the neighborhood and stuff like that. But the experience of it was phenomenal. But when I went to the military, what stopped me from playing guitar, and this is another reason I got into DJing. I went to the military, and my aunt gave one of my friends my guitar while I was in the military, and he broke it.
Oh, wow. That was not a
So I'm like, when I come back, I'm upset. My guitar gone? How did you give somebody my guitar? I was really upset about that. But then I started learning about, like I said, I always said I want to be a radio DJ.
Okay.
Then I started getting in that back room. I started it before I went to the military.
Okay.
Already toying with it. Like I say, doing a little social club stuff. But when I got out to the military, it went full blast.
Okay.
Because once I realized I couldn't play guitar no more, because the guitar my stepfather gave me was a Gibson guitar. Those things cost a lot. And right now, one of those guitars is maybe $10,000.
Really?
And he gave it to me, just gave it to me. So I know I'm not going to be able to replace that. So back to the DJ thing, what really made me want to be a DJ more than anything else, I used to live on 98th Street, right between Vincent's and True. They had a club called Disco 95 on 95th, right between Racine and True. And I walked in there. Mind you, when I first started going to nightclubs, I was underage.
Okay.
Because I've always had beards and mustache and stuff. People always thought I was like in my 20s. I was only 15 years old. I used to knock liquor, all type of stuff. Okay? So when I walked into Disco 95, I'll never forget it. The first time I ever heard the song Pathway to Glory, Noggins and Messina, I was blasting on their system. I never heard a system like that. And I never heard it played like that. I'm like, ooh. Now the Copper Box is only a few blocks away. About 2 years later, came around the corner on 93rd and Ashland. Because it was like the Copper Box, a bowling alley, and the club. It was two clubs in the bowling alley, all connected.
Okay.
So I would spin at the Copper Box. My friends, Mr. G and them, was at the club. So I would go back and forth, back and forth. I'd come over here and spin because of George and Derek Norfleet being so good, I couldn't get a lot of time in the Copper Box.
Okay.
They had the Copper Box rocking. I was an alternate, but what Willie and Chris understood about me was he got a lot of talent. We don't want to lose him, but there's no place from here. So they had another club downtown called the Gazebo, right off Wacker. Say, you know what, we're going to send you to the Gazebo. I'm going to tell you a funny story about that.
Okay.
They said, we're going to send you to the Gazebo so you can hone your craft, you know what I'm saying? So I already said I was at Ronnie's Ale Factory too, which is, they're down in the Luton, maybe about 10 minutes away from each other.
Okay.
So I went to Ronnie's first because I got the job there first before they sent me to the Gazebo. But I'm big-headed, you know what I'm saying? I done got good, everybody nasty DJ. So what happened was Chris and Woody told me to go audition at the Gazebo. So I didn't prepare. I went to the Gazebo, got laughed out the place. It was my most humiliating moment ever as a DJ. I went in there, but what happened was, I know music real well and I can spit music real good. But when I went to the gazebo, it was a DJ named Ryan Garrison.
Okay.
And it was his music, his setup, and I didn't know where his music was at. When I went in there to play on it, I'm playing a song. What am I gonna play behind it? Because I don't know what he got. So I was all out of kilter, man. You know. And everybody you think we should give him our chance as a DJ here? They like, boo, get that butt out of here. I mean, literally.
Taught you a valuable lesson.
Literally.
Prepared.
So when I went back to the copper box, Chris and Willie and them heard about what happened. Because they sent me down there to audition. And we sent him there because he's good. So they asked me, we heard you was terrible. What happened? And I explained to him, I said, I wasn't prepared.
Okay.
I didn't take my own music. I just felt that I could just walk in on this man's set. Because when I came in there, when I introduced myself to everybody, they told me, that's Master D for the audition. I'm like, yeah. I'm finna rock this place and turn this out. I'm finna take this spot.
Okay.
And then when they moved me out of there, Willie and them was like, man, we didn't expect that. So what happened? So when I explained, I said, I had to take my music, I got to prepare right, blah, blah, blah. So they talked to, since it was their club, they told me to send them back. They're like, no, I'm gonna send him back down here. No, we're gonna send him back because we know he's better than that.
Okay.
So the next time I went back, I took my own music.
Stuff.
I took the DJ's job that night.
Lesson well learned.
Yes. That night, Ryan was no longer the house DJ. They offered him a management spot because we wanted him as our DJ. But yeah, it was a lesson well learned.
Yeah.
And the humiliation, I'm like, I'm not going through that again. Because when I came in the second time, my mind said, okay, I owe y'all, because y'all laughed at me and moved me up out of here. I'm like, I'm fit to tear this place up tonight. You know, yes I did. Yes I did.
So let me ask you a question. How many of the recording artists over the years have you been able to just pick up the telephone and have a conversation?
Huh.
What about anybody from the P-Funk?
I don't know. I met actually George Clinton's niece. I've never met any of the Parliaments or Funkadelics personally. But when you say how big artists can I pick up the phone and talk to, we talking hundreds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a few.
So again, if you give a recommendation to our youth who may want to follow in your footsteps in terms of being a DJ, promoter, concert entrepreneur, what would you say to them so that they know to watch out for various pitfalls?
Well, the thing is, in the entertainment industry, you're always going to have some negative peers that try to steer you in the wrong direction. You know, because they're looking out for themselves, not out for you. And they'll come to you, like they said about Eve with the apple. They'll come to you with something so sounds so promising. We gonna get this together, and we gonna grow this together, and all that. But really, what it is your talent. They're trying to count on to help everybody come up. So I would tell the younger guys, just depend on yourself and believe in yourself. That's what it really takes. I've had so many people tell me what I couldn't do and couldn't be when I first started turning radio. The first thing I was told was, a bunch of black people can't do nothing together and be successful.
That's what you were told?
Mm-hmm. I also heard, this is not going to work, you're going to be wasting your life, your money, all this is never going to be anything. Well, not to brag, but Turn Radio was in our, I'll say about our fourth, maybe fifth season. And we was on Line 365. Line 365 at the time had about 10,000 stations.